So I think the stage is all clear, and I'm going to now introduce our next session, next speaker. It's our final headliner before the break, who is Kyle Dufresne. He's Senior Vice President of AI and Edge Solutions Sales at Dell Technologies. Now, Kyle is here to share his thoughts around delivering GenAI innovation end-to-end, the Dell AI Factory with NVIDIA. So please give him a very warm welcome.
Everyone. Thank you, Haley. No chairs for the Dell guy, I guess, right? Hey, just checking to see if the slides are up. Hey, good morning, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me here at Dell Technologies. And I've been with Dell for a very, very long time, but over the last 3 years, I've been really focused on our AI business. It literally started from zero, and I couldn't believe it the first day we got our first order was over $1 billion on a single purchase order. So we have seen an explosion in this part of the world, in this part of the industry, in this technology, like we've never seen in the past. So today, what I'd like to talk about, to spend time with you, is just sharing with you what we've seen from lots of our customers. I personally have met with literally thousands of customers, and I've seen them in all different parts of their journey. And I could spend a little bit of time talking about Dell and our journey and kind of how we're mapping out how we make this incredible technology real. You know, so I know everybody here has heard the word AI over the last 3 days an awful lot. There's a lot of hype around it. But we do see this changing the world. We see this in the marketplace today bigger than the internet being born itself. We see the things that we do today are incredible with AI. We think what's happening in the next 3 to 4 years is going to be completely different. Some stats that the marketing people like me to show. You know, they say 80% of the people today are using generative AI in their personal days. I do it, and I'm kind of a neophyte. I look at my son, who is a mechanical engineer, who is just incredible at using this technology every single day. But in fact, if you look at your businesses and where have you employed it, your businesses, it's being used a lot less. It says 63%. But I would bet that if you look at your own companies and you looked at what use cases that you've actually launched at scale, I bet it's fairly limited. At least at Dell it has been. We have a couple, and I'll go through what they are. But these are tough things to actually launch and do at scale. So I think there's a lot of work, and you're going to see an awful lot of opportunity in the business, in every one of your businesses to really transform the business. The one thing people do talk about a lot is, hey, what are the things that you are going to do to be productive or to drive efficiency? And what are you going to do to scale new businesses, new parts of your business, and be differentiated in your industry? What I'll tell you is when we leave here today, I hope you leave with the same notion I have, which is that if you're not using generative AI in your business in the next 5 years, you're not going to be in business. I guarantee it. So the way we look at things at Dell is pretty simple. When you look at your own companies and the way we look at things at Dell, you have to start with what your business case is. Okay? What your business case is. At Dell, our business case is pretty simple. Michael wants to create a company at Dell that would take the current company we work for and put us out of business. That's our business case. We want to make a company that creates product faster than we've ever created products. We want to have a sales force that we believe can be 40% more productive than it is today. And I'll go through that. We want to have the best tech support in the whole world. At Dell Technologies, most people recognize us as having one of the best supply chains in the world. Our supply chain's an $85 billion supply chain, lots of books written about it. We're literally tearing it down to the nub. And we're rebuilding it because we think we can save $1 billion in cost of capital in our supply chain. What does that mean? That means that our stock could go up 18% if we took that $1 billion and put it to the bottom line. Michael would be very happy. But what it really means is that we're going to take that $1 billion, which is really wasted money, and we're going to spend it on engineers. and more salespeople and more support people, and we're going to continue to build our company. We believe that this is going to create a massive flywheel at our company. So when you look at your own businesses, you have to start with, hey, what is our business case? And then what you need to do is really start thinking about, hey, what are our strengths? What is our differentiation as a company? And then how can I apply this technology to be part of it? And that's how you create use cases. I'll go through ours. But, when we look at our business case, technology for us is just one pillar. It's just one pillar. Everybody walks in here and they talk about this thing like it's magic. This stuff is really hard, otherwise it would be ubiquitous in the world today. At our company, at Dell, we're spending as much time in process engineering as we are in technology. We have an inside sales team. Today they have 107 processes to do their job. Who believes their job is easy, right? It's not, it's terrible. We think we can get it down to 6, right? It was taking us at Dell, I'll just give you our warts. It was taking us over 20 weeks to create a technical blog. Who thinks that was a technology problem? Anybody? It's not. So we are doing as much in our company. I would advise you to look at this. Everybody's here for technology stuff, and we'll go through these things. I would advise you to look at your company and your processes and figure out how you drive efficiencies in your business as much as looking at technology. Okay? So then, now you have to figure out your use cases. I would say that when you look at use cases, we look at them in a couple different ways. Business return, technical viability, data readiness, and we'll get into data in a minute. Everybody's been talking about it, I'm sure. It's the long pole in the tent. But that's how we prioritize us. At ours, we've looked at, I'm not allowed to say the number, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of use cases. Anybody want to shout out in the front row how many use cases they think we're actually doing at Dell? Anybody? Nobody wants, anybody want to shout out a number? 5? Somebody said 5. That's really good. We're doing like 6 to start. We're doing 6. Big ones. They're big ones. And you can group these things together, right? I'll give you some examples. We believe that if you're not doing code generation in your company, if you have software in your platforms, if you're not using GenAI to do coding, you will be out of business. At Dell, we're building products 80% faster than we have in the past. And not only are we actually using it for new innovation, we're taking our current code, because we make incredible technologies. There's never been a problem in one of our products ever, just like your companies. But we're taking our code where we find bugs and find issues, we're dumping it into these code generation tools to find them, have them fixed, have the code rewritten, and then sent out to our customers. We've saved literally hundreds of millions of dollars in having to ship customers new hardware when we find issues, just in that use case. Content generation is a simple one that everybody should be doing. Digital assistant, we're using it for not only inside of our company, we're building it for Dell.com. I bet most people here don't realize that Dell.com, dude, you're getting a Dell? We're the 5th largest online retailer in the world. We are. Incredible. So we're building digital assistant capabilities for it. But can you imagine being in the healthcare industry? My mom is 87. She fell the other day. This is actually a true story. And it was at night. Can you imagine having a digital assistant? I had to wait till the next day, talk to the nurse, and find out what was going on. By the way, she's fine. She's fine. But can you imagine having a parent or a child in the hospital being able to go to a digital assistant and ask questions and have instantaneous answers? If you're a public entity in the room today, I grew up in a small state in the United States called Rhode Island. I met with the governor of Rhode Island. I got to go. They're going to kick me off. And he was telling us to give their citizens help. People call up the state. The average hold time was 57 minutes. And I said, Brian, that's like the worst I've ever heard. You are terrible. And he goes, Kyle, it's worse than that. It takes like 65 or 70% of the time when we ask them for information, they don't have it. They got to call back. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are awful. So think about digital assistants in a public domain where you can literally have a digital assistant and you want to know about tax or real estate or what's going on, or in the university setting. There's so many of these use cases, but you can figure them out for your company based on what I just discussed. And then you can then figure out, what is your data strategy? By the way, our data strategy at Dell, Structured data is amazing. You should see it. Our unstructured data are a mess. We're working so hard every single day to figure out how do we provide governance on that data. Where does that data sit? How do you pull that data into your data meshes to get use of it in these AI models? What models are you going to train? At Dell, we have over 5 now. We're using 5 different models. We're on-prem. By the way, we're a multi-cloud world. What we're finding is that we started doing proof of concepts in the cloud. We've moved them all on-prem because the cost of those tokens that some of you are finding are exploding. So we do believe there's a multi-cloud world, but we believe that if you create a platform, which we'll talk about, called our AI Factory, a platform, you can do 2 different things. Number 1, launch at scale. Right? Anybody can do. I was talking to customers. I was talking to a big media company, giant media company. I won't tell you where it is. You'll guess the company. They had over 105 proof of concepts running. 105 at one time. They were spending millions of dollars a week. Millions. And getting nothing done. What we believe you need to do is create a factory, create a platform so that you can do 2 things. Number 1, launch at scale, figure out what you're going to do and what you're going to accomplish, but also provide a place for innovation. If you don't provide your data scientists, and some of you are out here, and your engineering teams and your developers a place to be innovative, they're going to go do it without you. We see shadow IT everywhere. We were laughing at Dell. We had over 58,000 servers running Dell. Our IT organization was running like 36,000. Do you think we had a shadow IT problem, guys? We kind of put an end to that. But you have to create this platform that you're able to do that. So what does that include? It includes, of course, hardware. We love selling you the software. I mean, the servers, the storage, the networking, we're incredible at it. But it's also this huge software layer. And you see NVIDIA's on here, and they're an incredible partner, and they do a great job, and they're central to what we're doing. And we've created these vertically integrated stacks. But we're working with thousands of ISVs. Thousands, depending on the specific industry that you're in. If you're doing digital twins or doing all the, you're in the telecom industry or the manufacturing space or retail, we're finding incredible innovation coming across all kinds of industries. And what we're doing at Dell is creating this platform where we're certifying these companies so that we can have vertically integrated solutions. Now, some of you big companies out there like Dell, we also have our own stack that we've built that's completely open sourced as well. We like that as well. So we do a lot of the integrated solutions where it makes sense, but we also have an open source stack so that we can provide our developers a platform. And then, of course, all the services on top. We actually use the same services people at Dell that we actually work with our customers because these are outcome-based solutions. Most customers are coming to us today and they're saying, hey, how do I do this? I have 2 minutes left. I really got to get going. I could have put 100 customers on the slide. I could have put 1,000 customers on the slide that we're working with. So I just showed a couple quotes here. It's a bit of a marketing slide, but what it basically shows is 3 different industries that we're working in, but I can tell you that it's getting to be massive and it's ubiquitous across the world. This is a video, I don't know how this thing plays, of the city of Amarillo, getting back to that public domain. Anybody know how this thing plays? Oh, here it is.
Amarillo is an old school Texas town. It was one of the last places settled in our country. We had a flooding event this summer, massive flood problems, and we really struggled with driving messaging out to our entire community on where to go, how to get assistance.
Their key pain point was they've got lots of services that they offer. Their community is diverse.
We have one middle school with 62 languages and dialects. About 24% of our population, they don't speak English at home. It's not their primary language. How do you bridge that communication gap and build relations with those communities?
And so what they were trying to do is remove the friction in people accessing services and accessing information.
And that's what really drove us toward looking to solutions and drive engagement with our residents. And Dell really showed up for us. It was easy for me when I reached out to them and said, hey, I have this crazy vision for generative AI.
That was an incredibly brave thing to do. It's a very new space.
Dell brings that full stack to us, brings the relationships, brings the visibility into where this is going, and often is adding to our roadmap things that we hadn't thought about yet because they're seeing things that we just haven't seen yet.
And what we did is we actually took them through some of the other options, for example, using a digital human with a large language model instead of just a chatbot, and how that could actually really accelerate people's consumption of services.
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm the City of Amarillo's first digital human built on generative AI.
That was transformative for me. Now there's one place to get that information that will not only give you answers in your own language, but take you to the support you need.
This is going to be a huge shift for all of the constituents.
Claro, para nuevos clientes, necesitarán llenar una solicitud.
Our end goal is to make sure every time a resident interfaces with the city, they see, hear, and interface with someone that looks and feels like them. We are not afraid of the future. We're embracing this wholeheartedly.
Super. I think that just gives you a taste. This gives you a taste of one customer with one use case that we think is transformative in the marketplace and how we're harnessing this technology. We could make thousands of those commercials, I would say. It's really exciting. It's unbelievable. Again, if I would leave you with something here, I'd leave you with a few things. Number one, this environment is moving really fast. We're seeing creation and innovation like we've never seen before. Think about your business cases. Think about how to prioritize your use cases. Think about how do you really get your data ready, which is the long pole in the tent, so that you can launch those use cases at scale and make progress. We've seen so many customers and partners spend a lot of time and wasting money cycling through so many different use cases and figuring out what they're going to do and struggling with return on investment. Figure that out. Plan. And then, we spend a lot of time on the innovation piece. I can tell you, by creating that platform for us, we control our costs, we control our security, we have flexibility in our models. Not everything's a large language models, where we're using a bunch of small models, and we allow our people to really generate new ideas and new opportunities in our business every day. So I have 3 minutes that I left for any questions. Does anybody have any questions at all? It's okay, I know it's a big room. Yeah, right there, real quick. Haley, don't throw me off yet. It says I have 3 minutes left.
No, it's absolutely fine. You're doing a great job. I'll let you do the question.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
My name is
hi.
Sami. I'm coming from Geneva, from an international organization. What advice would you give to the companies and organizations that are still at the beginning of their AI journey, particularly regarding to implementing large-scale use cases or...
Hey, listen, I dig you, man. Can you speak loud? Yell it out.
Sorry, maybe like that's better. What advice would you give to companies and organizations that are still at the beginning of their AI journey and would like to implement large-scale use cases, as well as implement AI for productivity in the companies, as well as internal use cases? Where should the company start?
I think that's a great question. Listen, I'd love to share warts about Dell, so it just shows you that we're on this journey like all of you. Listen, we've been on this journey for a couple years now, and by the way, everybody talks about AI like it's brand new. I think for the old people here, we realize it's been around since 1956. I think IBM kind of takes credit for that. So it's been around for a while, right? We were putting in awesome inferencing solutions in retailers 5 years ago. But what I would tell you is that we've learned a lot at Dell. I would start with the places that are very easy. I would start where your data is really ready, that you can get a quick return. You're not going to believe how much you're going to learn, just like in any engineering platform or product or solution that you're building. For us, we're on like version 7 of what we're doing, and our flywheel is starting to move very quickly. So I would start where you can get a quick return, where it's meaningful for the business, and that's why I was talking about how we rate our use cases. Business return, technical viability, data readiness. I would really focus on that and get a couple quick returns. You'll get the company behind you, your organization behind you, and then you'll start seeing it flow. That's what we did, and I think it worked pretty well, because senior leadership, because when you ask for money, they all get excited, and then they want to see the return quickly. And we're not selling strawberries here. This is hard work. That's what I would say. Any other questions? No questions. People are afraid. I got one back there. Listen, I got 46 seconds. Haley,
No, it's fine.
She's
It's fine.
mean
You
as
can ask
dirt.
a question.
She's mean as dirt. She's going to throw me off the stage. Yeah.
Hi, Georgie. I'm from IKEA.
Listen, I should have you come to my house. You can build all the crap that's never been built.
Well, hopefully in the future I won't have to. But anyways, my question is more about, so how do you approach organizational hurdles rather than technological ones in old entrenched companies?
Such a good question. I love that. That's such a good question. So this is an area where we learned quite a bit early on as well. If you're in your organization, if you do not create an organization based on this opportunity in technology, you're going to make a mistake. So for us at Dell, we decided we needed a chief AI officer, right? We needed to have that. And when we do that, what does that mean for Dell? That means for us, it's an in and on strategy. It's, hey, how do we develop AI for our products? How do we develop AI for our internal use cases, right? How do we develop AI, in our financials and cybersecurity? So it's all these different groups around the company that all feed into that central planning team on what we're going to accomplish. If you do not have that and you don't have buy-in from your senior leadership, you're not going to go anywhere with this stuff. You're going to fool around with use cases. You're going to get side businesses. If you're going to transform your company, I'm telling you, it is the most important thing we did. You can hear the passion in my voice because we kind of started without doing that. You need to have executive, CEO buy-in, and then you need to create that organization that says, hey, we're going to do this. Because you're looking at, it's cool in the technology, the group before us talked about ethics and all of those things. That's really important stuff, and security on these environments. And what if you get hallucinations? And what if somebody hacks some of your models, right? You've got to be able to figure out how you're going to manage that at the company level. It's really important to do that. I'm way over my time now, right?
No, it's really fine. You've done a fantastic job. Some great questions, fantastic answers. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Dufresne, thank you very much.
I'll say this before they let me off. There's a workshop I think we're having afterwards, and we have a booth over there, some really smart people in it. If you want to hear more about it, we'd love to chat with you. Thank you, guys. All right, bye now.
Thank you so much.
All right.